Welcome to episode 5 of Psychopaths. Last time we had a surprising ending with Makishima and his guys being behind this, taking out these people behind their online avatars and then continuing to operate the avatars as if that person never actually died. And it's a very surprising ending, and judging by the title of this episode being so similar to the last one, we're continuing that here, so we'll see where it goes. We're going to watch it and discuss. I have the subtitles and timer on screen if you want to follow along, or you can pull up the episode on your own, but we're starting after any logos, after the Funimation logo. We're going to start there, so let's get into it in 3, 2, 1, play. Alright, so, this place again. But of course, the girl who ran this thing is dead now. But they're running it as if she's just perfectly fine. She's talking to one of these criminals right now and doesn't even know it. Of course, yeah, I won't help you again. She's a different person now. Yeah. Maybe she'll find out eventually. I don't know if she really knew this girl at all. Just they happen to be in the same school, same class. But we'll see where it goes, so... Yeah, while the OP is playing, though, let me say that if you enjoy these videos, subscribe to the channel. Psychopaths is every Wednesday, along with other videos every single day of the week. Also, check out the description down below for links to Twitter and Discord if you want to come hang out there, and Patreon if you want to support my channel. Get these videos a week early, or even earlier than that. Get polls and vlogs and all that stuff. Thank you very much. So, yeah, we'll see where it goes. I expected last week to be a one-off, then it felt like this is going on for quite a while. It doesn't feel like it could end in one episode. And then we get Makishima showing up and makes things way more interesting, so see how it goes. I didn't expect him to be involved like that so early on. They could very easily not find out that he is, and we'll just see him get away for now and fade off into the background for a while. Maybe there'll be more cases coming up that he's involved in. He'll be like the guy pulling the strings from behind the scenes in these smaller cases. Or we'll just get other smaller cases that don't have to do with him while he does other shit in the background for a while. I don't know. But either way, it's a little too early to have a full confrontation with him. Maybe they'll find out that he's involved, so that Akane can at least find out who he is. Since Kogami's so obsessed with him. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why they're doing it, really. Not touching the bank account. They want to take control of these popular online personas to be, maybe they just want internet fame. Maybe they want a platform to spread some kind of message. Are you sure? Alright, what do you got? Okay, Kogami has an idea. I just don't think that's really going to help. Yeah, as an old timer, I'm not into this newfangled technology. That would be correct. He's a boomer. I mean, yeah, it has nothing to do with good or bad. It, that's true. Rousseau? Just look it up right now. Easy. He's like, I don't. You don't need to be looking it up. Don't need technology for it. I got it. Is it a trick question? Sure. Well, it has its ups and downs. Definitely makes you more connected than ever before, but can make things very impersonal. There's a lot of stupid fucking people on Twitter and just everywhere. Can make you want to claw your eyes out with all the shit you see on there. Is he kind of figuring out that it's a different person now? Is there something in Audacity here? Okay, I see. Is that really proof enough? But if we check, okay, consistently, she would always say, or at least very often say, MWPSB. Very smart. It's a very small detail. Yeah. So this girl's dead. All right, Ginoza trying to track people down here. I don't think you're just gonna find the guy. Shit. That looked bad. That looked like some kind of trap. Fuck. Yep. Yeah. It wasn't gonna happen. Sorry, guys. Okay. Really? So this guy is whoa. This guy is Cho Gusung. Why is he his favorite? And what is he doing here? It's like he's insulted by them not being injured. This is anime. Explosions don't hurt people. You could be able to tell by her appearance that she was very gaudy and whatnot. Yep, they found out who it was. Yikes. Must be pretty harsh on Akane. Must be really weird to know that you were talking to this person who you thought was her and then it was actually the one who killed her. Not like they were friends or anything, but it's still a very weird thing to experience. That too, she would blame herself. You didn't know this would happen. She wanted to do it too. Shit happens. Can't blame yourself for everything. That's true. But all we have to do now is catch the culprit after this so they don't do it anymore. You can always say, like, I should have caught the culprit sooner, but you can only do the best that you can. Guess that's the point of the civil system, though. Get the culprits before they do anything. Kind of shows some of the mindset behind that. All right. I don't know. Would seem to be, just because it seems to be the glasses guy who's doing the whole thing. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, they were never real to begin with. They're online personas. Right? Yeah. You know what is expected from you as this idol, which means other people know what is expected of you, which means they know how to imitate you. Because it's not really you. So it'd have to be somebody with a lot of experience in there so he could know how to act. Okay. All right, let's see if we can get somebody on here. That makes sense, yeah. If he's taken over them, he won't be a guest in their place anymore. And it just comes down to this guy, Mito. So, okay. So you can just pick routes that avoid scanners? You can just do that? What kind of routes don't have scanners? All right, so they know who it is. He might not be. I mean, they got a crew, so you never know like who's good at what. They don't know how many people are involved in this. Oh, All right, chase is on. They've got him here. But what kind of traps does he have this place rigged with? Oh, well, some trippy hologram shit. Yeah. He can just run right past you and you don't even really realize it happened. Everything's distorted. Just holy shit. He was right. Wow, that's awesome. I would never have thought of that when he said alcohol is a good tool for dealing with the holograms. I wouldn't have thought he would do that, but that's awesome. 335. He gonna blow up? Oh shit. Okay, so damn. Fuck. That's so sudden, like you just have to keep running. You just have to be like, well, fuck. Pain inhibiting, that makes sense. So if it gets you in the arm or something, then it's not going to kill you right away, so. Damn, though, just. You're in bad shape, dude. Yeah. Plato? He seems to really value this idea of these eternal figures made by a collective of some sort. Just kind of seems like a NEET. Just some guy on the internet, kind of a little bit crazy. But shit's turning on him now. When your online avatars turn against you. And one of them's voiced by Dio. No. Yeah, they're taking control of them and talking through them. So he wasn't like really part of the crew. They were kind of seeing what he was like temporarily. Maybe like see if they wanted to work with him. Yeah. Just wants to project himself onto all these other characters. Be any of them rather than being his own person. Now he's going through all this shit. Damn. So yeah, it seems like they were kind of testing him and seeing what he was like. And now he's decided he's not interested in continuing their partnership because he doesn't think he's an interesting person. And so, boom. Interesting. So as of right now, they might not have any idea that there was anybody else involved. Other than that he was freaking out, but they have no idea why. Kogami did pretty damn good. Some good detective work. Yeah. You can have that kind of mindset and still be a good person. Don't think about it, just do your job. Distance yourself from them. It seems to be for him. Okay. All right, what is this? What is this? About Kogami. All right. What is it going to tell us about him? Oh, he was the partner? He was an inspector. So, was it the Makishima stuff that caused it to increase? He got way too wrapped up in the police work. Well, okay. Interesting conclusion to that little arc. Let's talk about it. All right, episode 5, concluding the story arc that we started last time in a pretty good way. I'll start by talking about Kogami. There's a lot to go through, so we'll just go bit by bit with him. There was some pretty good detective work in this episode, mostly by him. He was saying before how he wants to be a genuine detective and not just some hunting dog, and he was doing some good shit in this episode. Figuring out the differences in the speech patterns between the old Spooky Boogie and the new, or the stuff towards the end, looking at the charts and the graphs and figuring out who it might be based on how much time they've spent on this thing, or like studying the different avatars and when they may have gone in there, like, well, you know, obviously once they've taken over somebody, they're not going to be a guest in their commune field anymore, so doing stuff like that to figure out who it was. Pretty good. And then we have our reveal at the end where Akane is talking to Ginoza and he's telling her what he said before about staying away from the enforcers, and that's just what he personally believes, that's what he does. And he says that he had a partner who he lost and he doesn't want her to repeat that mistake. And when he said that, I was thinking Masaoka, and I was thinking when he said lost, he didn't mean died, he meant became an enforcer, just because we've talked about a connection between Ginoza and Masaoka before. So I was thinking, okay, maybe they were partners, maybe Masaoka even taught Ginoza since he's older, and then whatever happened to increase his psychopath and knock him down to being an enforcer. But it was actually Kogami that happened to. Presumably the Makishima case, he just got so obsessed with it that he didn't seek therapy or treatment or anything, and he just got too into his head and he had to become an enforcer because his psychopath went up too much. So yeah, well, it's interesting little bit of information there, and see like why Kogami and Ginoza, you know, he always calls him Gino. I think they all do really, except for Masaoka, who calls him by his first name, but still there's kind of like a friendly-ish tone there, like clearly they have a past together, and that's good to know about. As for Masaoka, very, you know, smart guy, is an older man, of course, likes his literary references. I like the conversations about technology and him not really understanding it as well. And it's like, no, I read the book and I just remember it. You don't got to look shit up on your fancy thing. Quite a few references to stuff like that in the show so far. A lot of literary references. And from what I remember, I mostly remember them coming from Masaoka. That's just kind of him. He's that kind of guy. He's bringing this stuff up all the time, and he's talking about humans being social by nature and wanting to communicate, and we really get into a lot of that in this 2-episode arc with just the nature of the internet and online avatars, which is extremely relatable, as I talked about last time, and just the thought of people killing these people and then just continuing their internet personas as if nothing happened, as if they were just them, is pretty horrifying. But yeah, like, I mean, it's like I was saying during the reaction, you've got your ups and downs. The internet makes the world more connected than it's ever been. The amount of things you can do on the internet is absolutely crazy, but it also makes things incredibly impersonal, to where these people online that you become a fan of, and like possibly to a very extreme degree, and you're worshiping them, like you don't even know them. They're not even a real person. Like, no matter what people present online is never entirely themselves. Even if you make a video every day, if you make a vlog every day, if it's like a 10-minute vlog, if it's like an hour vlog, whatever, it's still only a small portion of a person's day. It's just what they want you to see. It's what they have put out there. There are other things going on in a person's life. No matter how much you think you know a person that you've seen on the internet, you just don't really know them. And I mean, even that shit's true in real life. Like, you never fully know everything about anyone. Like, it's like there's always stuff going on in people's minds that you just don't have access to, even people you know in person. But somebody on the internet, where you only see the bits of them that are on the internet, like, that's not them. That's like the internet version of them. That's their avatar. And so that's really interesting here, that they were saying, like, you know, that they're not a real person. Like, they had to build up this persona. They know what to do and how to act to appeal to the fans. Like, the fans made them what they are, so they know what got them there. They know what to do, which means the fans know what they are meant to be like as well. They don't have to know what the real person behind the scenes was like, because it's totally disconnected. This avatar is not a real person. They just had to know what this person projected themselves to be like. And the hardcore fans, the people who really study that shit, would know, and then could even possibly put on the persona better than the original. And that's what this guy was doing. This guy, Mito, I was just super obsessed with this. He was just like a boring guy. I don't know, he struck me as kind of like a NEET, just somebody who sits at home all day on the computer and going through all this shit. And it's a very interesting dynamic here, and I'm curious how we'll go forward with it in the future with Makishima, because they don't know about him yet. They don't know that he was involved here, and I guess, you know, maybe for now we'll go back to other cases. He'll get involved again in the future. Maybe he'll be pulling the strings behind the scenes of some other cases. I don't know, but this guy doesn't seem to have been part of his like main crew. He's got him and this one other guy, at least for now, but it seems like they were testing him, trying to see what he was like. They lent him their people and everything, and were working with him to see what he was like. And I guess determined by the end that they weren't satisfied. They were like, yeah, you take command of all these avatars, you have such an obsession with them, and you're so good at becoming other people, but that's only because you're not an interesting person yourself. You're just a blank slate. There's nothing to you, and you just live your life by trying to become these other people. And he seems to have this obsession just with the idea of an avatar of a person, just this eternal thing that was created by all the fans, like collectively coming together and worshiping this idea of a person. Like, he's just way into that, more so than real people. And we saw like he brutally strangled the girl before, so he seems to just really be into them. Like, you're not worthy of having an avatar this good. And they just decide, yeah, we don't really like you, you're boring, so sorry. And they fuck him up and he dies. The arm exploding, pretty gruesome. So now we know, Dominator, if it hits you somewhere like the arm, it's just going to take the arm off. Pretty fucked up. I was wondering what the stuff was that he was messing with earlier, but he was on some pain stuff to make it so that he could keep going after shit like that happened, and then just exploding fully at the end, being completely destroyed. Betrayed by Makishima. Great stuff in the middle when they were chasing him down. Really good music. The distortions, the hologram stuff, really cool, really trippy. It's like, how the hell do we even get out of this? And the alcohol shit was awesome. Like, that's some just just straight up experience, like from somebody like Masaoka, like some detective work. You've done a lot of shit in the field. You know how to deal with this stuff. He's not very tech savvy, but he's got his own nice ways of dealing with this stuff. I had no idea what he meant when he was talking about the alcohol. And so to do that, drink some, blow it out, blow some fire to set the sprinklers off, that was pretty fucking genius. That was cool. So I have to wonder what Makishima's grander goals here are. Like, just testing this guy out, seeing if they wanted to recruit him or whatever. I don't know if they had any specific interest in what exactly he was doing. I was wondering if they were trying to take over these popular online personas to have a platform to spread some kind of message or something, but it seems like they weren't even really particularly interested in that. They were just going along with his shit, helping him out to see if they wanted to have him on their side, and eventually decided they didn't. So I think that's kind of the end of that, but still, this is just a really good topic for discussion with just the online avatars. Like I said, is really relatable, especially as somebody who makes content on the internet. And great conversations just about the nature of police work with Akane and Kogami. She's, of course, sad about this girl's death. She wasn't her friend, didn't really even know her, really, but still, just the fact that this was a girl from her class who knew of her. This girl died, like, we didn't save her, I brought her into this. If we had caught the guy before, this wouldn't have happened. And you can always do that. You can always find a way to put the blame on yourself and feel guilty. You can always say, what if I did this? What if I had done this? If I had been a little bit better? But they did the best that they could. She wanted to help. She was willing to do it herself. She, like Kogami says, he was being very rational there. Like, you didn't leak her information to the enemy, did you? You didn't force her to do this, did you? You didn't kill her. Like, you did what you could. Shit just happens sometimes. What was he like when he was dealing with the Makishima case that made his psychopaths go up? I don't know, but for now, that was very good advice that he was giving to her. And trying to just get her to understand, like, you just gotta do the best that you can and really just prevent any more crime from here on out. It sucks that we couldn't stop all of it, but we just have to learn from it and do better after that. And it's kind of like the point of the Sybil system, stopping anything like this before it happens. And I think it's really interesting because so far, like, the show has shown so many flaws in the system, but it's also understandable how it came to be, kind of, or at least why people within it would think that it's a good thing, just conceptually, like prioritizing the greater good of society as a whole and tossing to the side the people on the outskirts of it. It's just such a different mindset of how we treat people from how we do it in our society, but it's kind of understandable from their point of view when you think about it, like something like this. Like, the whole goal of the civil system is to make it so stuff like this doesn't happen, so they never have to think like, oh, if I had just caught the criminal before they had killed this person. They are willing to forfeit these latent criminals' rights to stop them from potentially ever doing anything like this. But then you got the fact that it happened anyway. So he can apparently just take routes that don't have scanners. Okay. And yeah, it happened anyway. He killed people regardless of the system. So, you need to work on it. Definitely should have tried to capture him. Would have been better, but they thought he was working alone. That's just kind of part of the society. The Dominator tells you to do the thing, and you just do the thing. You pull the trigger and do what it says. And they probably don't have a lot of, like, crazy crime. They don't have people like Makishima and his gang and whatever they're doing, because that's just not really a thing in the society. So they're not anticipating anything like that. But I can't wait to see more of the villains, more about the enforcers and what led them to be in the positions that they're in. Akane getting closer to them, seeing if she can avoid these mistakes that Ginoza is warning her about, and just more of this system in this world, because it's super fucking interesting and I'm really loving the show a lot. So for now, that's about all I got. So let me know what you thought of this episode. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe. If you'd like to see more, check out all the description stuff down below. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.